Good morning, everyone. In this video, I have asked people to share a little bit about me and how they met me and things I might excel at and also that I might struggle with while I'm on the trail. So without further ado, here are some of my friends from various parts of my life.
When I first got to know Renee, we were both living in Anchorage, Alaska. I was working with a gap year program and she was the support lead for that program at the time. It was super helpful to have Renee around because one, she had been in the role that I was in years earlier, so she understood the program and kind of was great to be able to speak with her about my work. As it would go, we ended up spending some time doing some different things like hiking. So it was one of the first times that I went on a backpacking trip that Renee was along on that trip. This memory stands out in my mind because I think it depicts well Renee, as well as it's memorable to me because we attempted to do a 30-mile trek called Kasugi Ridge Trail outside of Denali National Park. And we were going to do it in 3 days, ended up having to do it in 2 days due to weather and some schedules. Anyway, about 16, 17 miles into that first day, I became pretty dehydrated. I wasn't drinking enough water and really had to slow down. Wasn't sure I'd be able to go any further. And Renee was able to stay back and we sat down. She gave me some food. I was able to drink some water. And eventually she was able to stay with me even though I was going real slow. And that's just kind of a good depictor, as I said, of Renee, because she's the type of person that will always be there when you need her, whether it was in the work life that I was working with and she was able to be a support, or whether it was on something like a backpacking trip. That's Renee. When I think about this upcoming trek for Renee on the PCT, I could see her excelling at managing sort of the day-to-day, knowing what her body needs, knowing what she's capable of that day, or, in those couple days, and kind of, being in tune and being aware of when to push and maybe when to take a 0 day or slow down a bit. So I feel like she's pretty in tune and pretty able to manage that pretty well. I could see one of the more challenging aspects of the trip being the mental battle, per se. Renee has a lot of things that are going well for her here in Anchorage, and I think it would be really hard not to at times think in her head, I could just be done. I could just go back home. I'm not too concerned. She obviously has the capability to do, these types of hikes before, these types of treks before. I just think if there was one thing that stood out that may be a little bit more of a struggle, I would imagine the mental grind would be one of those things. Something that I hope that Renee, I kind of wish for Renee as she begins this trek, is to just make sure that she doesn't let anybody else or anything else kind of define what success means. So whether that means she's able to hike 1 mile on the PCT, or whether she hikes all 2,000, now I'm forgetting the total, 600, something like that, miles, that she can feel a sense of peace and satisfaction with everything, no matter how it goes. And so I hope that she's able to lean into that and not allow anybody else's expectations or desires for how this goes for her to infiltrate, and let it go how she would like it to go.
Hi, my name is Andy. I met Renee back in 1997, where she was a camp counselor at Swan Lake Christian Camp, and it was my first summer being a camper, a 4th grade camper. 3 words I'd use to describe Renee would be consistent, loving, and adventurous. Some of my fondest memories are being quite adventurous. We took a trip up to northern Minnesota, up in Boundary Waters for a week. It was probably one of my funnest trips that I've ever taken. Otherwise, we've played guitar together a lot over the summers of being on staff with her. We did a lot of campfires together. Those are some of my favorite memories there. Perseverance is something I think that she would excel at, and that's very broad, but in any issue or trouble that would come up while on the trail, I know she would take it with stride and tackle it head on and get through just about anything that would be thrown at her. One of the tougher things on the trail she might encounter would be bugs. Not that she's afraid of them. There just might be a few. Words of advice, though, would be don't forget to put your Crocs in sport mode. That's all I've got for you. So good luck out there. I look forward to seeing more vlogs.
Hello, my name is Molly, here to cheer on Renee as you are about to take off on yet another grand adventure. How did I get to know you, or how did I meet you? I feel like I've always known you, Renee, but at least since I was 5 years old and we moved to Turner County and became neighbors with the Neufelds. You and I, as well as Allison and my sister Olivia, are the daughters of the famous office ladies of Freeman Academy. Shout out to Anita. And of course, through South Church, the Mentor-Mentee program, where I was mentored by you for what I think was meant to be 4 years, but it hasn't stopped since freshman year of high school. 3 words to describe Renee Neufeld. I would say ambitious, steadfast, and brave. Very, very brave. Memories that I have with you. This was so hard. I think I had like a 5-way tie in my mind of like favorite or most profound memories. And if I speed through them, it would be with Brianna when we came out to your home at Swan Lake and shaved off all of your hair in support of Mary as she was going through breast cancer treatment. That certainly sticks with me as a strong memory. Coming out to Virginia, flying into DC, and then renting the infamous Dodge Grand Caravan and driving that down to Harrisonburg, Virginia to visit Eastern Mennonite University. Little did I know that would become the school I would go to for college, and then down to Richmond for you to run a marathon, and now I live in Richmond. Go figure. Third memory that I harken back to is sitting in the parking lot of the Klein's Dairy Bar for several hours with you after we had eaten our delicious ice cream, and I was feeling just so concerned and confused and upset because I was really struggling my freshman year of college and feeling like I didn't know what to do with my studies, and I wasn't really clicking with my major. And you sat with me and we went through the course catalog, and you listened, and you ultimately really encouraged me to try taking some classes in business administration. And wouldn't you know it, that ended up being my degree, and I loved it, and that's all thanks to you. I also got to join you and Allison for a couple of days as you were hiking the Appalachian Trail, or now that I live in Virginia, the Appalachian Trail, for about a day and a half when you came through Waynesboro, Virginia. So that was, I still think about that, joining you for just over a day and getting to participate in that adventure. And my 5th memory is, of course, coming to visit you in Anchorage while you were still living at the Mission House and getting to explore Anchorage and do some camping and hiking out there as well. What do I think you'll excel at or struggle with? I think they're kind of the same thing. I think you're going to excel at the solidarity on the trail, the reflection, the time for perspective taking. And I also think that's going to be hard. I think that we don't take enough time to really be by ourselves or be in our own minds. And while that can be a beautiful tension, you're going to come out with a lot of insight, I think, on yourself. Good luck, Renee. I think I am so excited to keep up with your adventures on the PCT. I cannot wait to hear how it all goes, what insight you learn about yourself, the pictures you take, the people you'll meet, and I'm rooting for you. So proud of you. Good luck.
Hello from sunny Phoenix. This is Allison, Renee's sister. So I have known Renee since my birth, as she's older than me. A couple of the memories that I have is working at the Cornerstone and waitressing in high school. I feel like this is really when we became not just sisters, but friends. And also me daring her to punch me in the nose, and her doing it, and me ending up with a bloody nose as a child. 3 words I would describe Renee is determined, selfless, and loyal. She's definitely loyal to her friends, to her family. She's determined. She's set lots of goals and achieved them. And And she's just very selfless. She's always giving. And so those are my 3 words. Something I think she might struggle with on the trail is kind of leaving everything at home. She has a lot on her plate, a lot of activities she's involved in that are important to her, and I think it'll be hard to leave those behind. Something I think she'll do well at is that mental fortitude that's needed to keep walking, keep stepping day by day, finishing those miles. I think she will have no problem with. And then something I want to leave her with the trail is to hike your own hike. Go with the flow. A change in plans might be just an opportunity for something amazing, meet somebody new. So give yourself grace, and whatever you accomplish with this hike, however many miles you do, is going to be amazing, and you should be very proud of yourself. So I'll be rooting for you, and good luck.
Renee and I know each other from Alaska Premier Dental Group. We've been coworkers for several years now. 3 words I'd use to describe her would be genuine, hardworking, and kind. Truly one of the nicest people I know. A memory I have with her, there's lots. We spend a lot of time laughing at work. So I'd say that I know we love vanilla Tootsie Rolls, Pizza Hut pizza, and potato chips and eggnog. So talking and eating those things would be a good pastime that I have with her. And our sisterhood of the Band-Aids. If I were to tell her anything while she's on the trail, I would just say unplug, rest, relax, and enjoy, because you deserve that. I'm not sure there's anything she'll struggle with on the trail, because she meets every challenge head on. So I don't think there's going to be anything.
Hi, my name is Brian Paff, and I'm from Freeman, South Dakota. I first met Renee back in 2004 at the Chicago Marathon. We were both running that year. It was my first marathon and maybe Renee's 4th or 5th marathon, but she was on a quest to run 50 marathons in 50 states. And at the time, I thought that was pretty remarkable. I continue to think that that's pretty remarkable 20 years later. And she has maybe 4 or 5 states left to check off her list to get to all 50 states. And I think she ran Washington, D.C. as well, if I'm not mistaken. 3 words that I would use to describe Renee would be ambitious, driven, and faithful. Renee is good friends with my wife, Maria, and a memory that I have of Renee is actually that she sang in our wedding ceremony, sang the processional and maybe another hymn. She has a beautiful voice, and so when we were planning our wedding, Maria reached out to her and asked her if she would be willing to sing, and we're so grateful that she was able to. It was a memorable day, obviously, and something that will stick with me forever. Something that I think Renee will excel on trail will be her preparation. She is someone that is very goal-driven, and so whether that's running 50 marathons in 50 states or hiking on one of the long trails like the Appalachian Trail and now the PCT, and so I think her preparation will stand out, particularly something that stuck out to me when she hiked the AT, and I know we talked about her plans for the PCT, is food prep. This is not someone who's just going to pack ramen and, make it into camp at the end of a long day and just survive on pure calories. She puts a lot of thoughtfulness into the food prep side of things, and so I think that will stand out. One of the things that I think will be a challenge for Renee will be the snow. The AT is just completely different, and they obviously have, each trail has its own challenges. But I think the PCT and some of the snow that she'll run into, particularly in the early months and through the high Sierras, will be a challenge. But I hope that she will have the drive and the resolve and hopefully good people around her to keep her going each day, as big as the challenges might be. Renee, I think my hope for you is that you will embrace every single mile. There is so much beauty to be experienced on the PCT. I'm sure that you will meet some wonderful people, remarkable people, and I hope you'll be able to savor all of those moments, both the beauty and the relationships that you build along the way. Happy trails.
Hi, we are introvert and extrovert from the Appalachian Trail class of 2012, and we're here to answer some questions about one of our favorite hiking companions, Renee, also known as Kleenex. And we're going to start off with these questions that we're supposed to deal with. One, how do we know Kleenex, and what do we think she might struggle with on the trail? And we know her well enough to know that's a silly question, and she won't struggle with anything on the trail. So we can start right there. Kleenex probably started a day or two before us, but we did not catch up with each other until July the 31st in Salisbury, Connecticut. And she was breezing on into town as we were stopping at the edge because she had a package at the post office she needed to pick up. And a little bit later, we wound up eating lunch at the same place as she was opening the package and sharing all of these homemade goodies.
And we realized this was a
around.
person we needed to stick close to because she had really, really good food coming from home.
Words that would describe her, well, to say there are three words that would sum Kleenex up is just silly. But what I remember is her being a very nurturing person and always reaching out to help people, make friends. She was just a boon companion, just a great person to be around on the trail. Anything that she undertakes, you know she's going to succeed at because she has a stick-to-itiveness and she has a planning gene that is always working extremely well. What else?
She has a beautiful singing voice. I loved to whistle on the trail, and not that great a singer, but I do like to whistle. And of course, just about every tune I whistle is a hymn. Oftentimes, because Renee is such a she's so tied to her faith, tied to music, especially in her faith. She would recognize what I was whistling. So as I would whistle, she would sing, and but it was always a pleasure and so much fun to do that. She's a very positive force. And force is maybe the wrong word, but she's just very easy to get along with, and willing to try anything, but carries a lot of positivity. And I know she is fiercely devoted to family and friends, and for 12 years we've been the recipient of that.
Very early on, we found out that Kleenex was trying to run a marathon in every state, and as the only state I've ever run a marathon in was the state of exhaustion, we had a lot to talk about. But later on, when X decided to get into marathoning, and especially the world majors, it was Kleenex that paced her to her first Boston qualifying time and really set the stage for her running all 6 of them.
And that was in the fall of 2014. So it was 2 years after we had thru hiked, and we met in Albany, New York. And Renee was just with me for 26.2 miles lockstep, and brought me into a very successful Boston qualifier.
And when we got to Tokyo, which was X's world major number 5, Kleenex was the only person that came all the way from the United States to cheer us on from the sideline.
And Allison was there too. Allison's her sister, and so that was quite a whew, wow, just so emotional. it was wonderful to see them on the side of the road and or street.
So, what words for her as she travels?
Because she said, keep this at 3 minutes.
And
3
we're
minutes.
twice that already. We hope that the PCT will be just as epic as our Appalachian Trail hike. We wish you all the best on it. And when you get to Mount Whitney, be sure to take enough of a detour to go up and click off that high point, because that was certainly something to look forward to on the trail. Anything else?
Yeah, we'll be following you every step, and make sure you send us word, and we'll be sending you a package, if not one or two. But anyway, take care. Love you.
Thanks for watching till the end, and the next time you see me, I'll be doing my last minute details for the trail, and then I'll be out hiking. Thanks, and have a good day.